Hi everybody and welcome back to the Toon Review for this instant match reaction. My name's Paul. Thank you so much for tuning in. Brilliant. 3-0. Couldn't have wished for a better match going into the game against Chelsea on Tuesday. Yes, there was some downsides to this game with a couple of injuries. But the way we responded to a bit of a not so good first half in the second half was just brilliant. Controlled the game, and listen, it could have been 4 or 5. Leno made some good saves. We missed some opportunities. But the smiles are back on the faces, guys, and that's the big thing. You look at the end of the game, you saw the smiles on the players' faces, how delighted they were. Lewis Miley bagging one as well. Miggy back on the score sheet, which will hopefully do his confidence the world of good. I really enjoyed watching Miggy, Kraft and Miley down that right-hand side in that second half. Fulham just didn't have an answer to them. They were excellent. Bruno was excellent again. But obviously the injuries are going to take centre stage ahead of the game against Chelsea, because we've lost two very influential players today in Joe Linton and Fabian Schär. Schär's bringing the ball out as he normally does, goes past two Fulham players and then ping. He does his hamstring. I really don't know why the physios were working on him, because it was obvious he was going to have to go off. As soon as he felt that hamstring, he knew in his own head. You could see the frustration. And then 15 minutes later, Joe Linton makes a great run towards the box, gets to the edge of it, and bang, feels his left hamstring. So probably going to be without them for the game on Tuesday. But there is a lot of positives to come from today, with Botman coming back, Byrne playing most of the game, Callum Wilson again playing a full game, looked really hungry and alert. So, there is some plus points. I think Isak was probably rested today, given that he's been suffering from a groin problem. So that will hopefully do him the world of good as well. So there is plus points, guys. And the way we responded in the second half just proves that, when we play like that, we are a joy to watch. First half, I think, was a little frustrating because Fulham clearly came to catch us on the counter-attack. But when the sending off happened, which was a clear sending off, by the way, I mean, that was a joke of a challenge by Jimenez. I don't know what he was thinking. His foot was high initially. He pulled out of that, but then goes in full force on Sean's face. You just don't jump like that for a ball that's not even head height. It was a ridiculous challenge. So rightfully sent off. But we found it difficult to get going a little bit after that sending off, didn't we? It was just sort of stop-start. The whole first half was really stop-start with injuries, etc. And it was a little bit frustrating. We were struggling to get balls into the box. We were having shots that were going over the bar. But you know what it is? You kind of felt towards the end of the first half that momentum was building. And it didn't half build, because we came out for the second half and just dominated from start to finish. The passing, the movement, some very good goals today. But you have to say the best one of the lot, Lewis Miley, played through, kept his calm and slotted it beautifully across Leno into the far corner. Miggy's goal took very well, couldn't miss, but the vital thing is that he scored, and he had a very, very good second half. As I say, I was loving the link-up play between Miley, Miggy and Kraft in that second half. Kraft was a standout for me today. Absolutely brilliant when he came on for the injured Fabian Schär. He went to right back, Livramento to left, Dan Byrne then came into the middle. But Emil Kraft had a superb game of football for Newcastle today. And hats off to him, because again, like a few players from the Bruce era and the Ashley era, we think, they're not good enough. But he's responded under Eddie Howe, had that awful injury, but he's come back and he's absolutely superb. Absolutely brilliant today. So, going into Chelsea, we have a lot of confidence. Sven Botman played some minutes as well. So I'm excited to see where we can go now. Obviously, the disappointment of Europe, they responded to that today. And the smiles, that's what I love to see at the end of the game. The smiles back on the faces. It was a difficult game. It's never easy against 10 men either, as we know. From experience against Liverpool earlier on in the season. We had to kill the game off. So when we went 1-0 up, it was very important that we stayed on top of the game. We didn't allow Fulham to come back. Yes, they had the odd break here and there, but they were never really threatening. And we went and got that second and third goal. It could have been 4 or 5. Leno made some good saves, etc. We missed some more opportunities, but the work rate never stopped. And everybody that came on that pitch today did a job. And Dubravka, a lot more solid today. There was one incident in the first half where I thought when Iwobi was played in, he stayed on his line again instead of coming out. But that was it for me. He controlled his penalty area very, very well today. Came for crosses, didn't punch, caught the ball, and that gives your defenders a lot of confidence. You're coming out trying to punch or miss the ball, and it causes all sorts of scrambles in the penalty area, but he caught the ball, and I think that was vital today. Also, you look at the way we moved forward, Bruno driving us forward in midfield. He had just a wonderful game, Bruno, today, driving us forward. So there's a lot of positives to take. And we were thinking at half-time, it was 0-0. Were we going to struggle to break Fulham down? We were sort of talking about the injuries, thinking, oh my God, this is really bad. We've lost 2 very influential players. But whatever was said in that dressing room at half-time worked. And we ground, and then we scored. We knew if we'd score a goal, Fulham would have to come out a little bit, which they did. But we would, it was important to kill the game off. And it was just great to see. And now we need to go into the game against Chelsea with the same sort of confidence and play like that away from home. The defence was quite sound today. Lascelles did a good job again. Byrne was solid at centre-back, hasn't played there for a long time, but he was solid. And, we can go into the game thinking, right, we've got players coming back. Yes, we'll miss Cher and Joe Linton, but my God, we've got some players that can do a job. And, Chelsea isn't the fear factor at Stamford Bridge that, of course, it used to be. They're in a massive rebuild at the moment. Beat Sheffield United 2-0 today, but it's not exactly a massive score against the whipping boys of the Premier League, is it? So I think we can go into that game very, very confident. I really did like what I saw in that second half. The work rate. And the good thing for us is that we had the ball so much that fatigue didn't play an issue today. Because when you've got the ball and you're knocking it around, you're not running after it. And I think that was the important thing. And I think that's why their sending off probably helped us out. Because we were going to have more than the ball than Fulham were. And if we could hold on to that ball and pass it around and keep the ball, it doesn't affect fatigue as much as it does when you haven't got the ball. So that was vital for me as well. I just think the whole thing went really well in the second half. We ironed out some problems, and it was good to see Eddie make the changes. And look, he was forced into the changes for obviously Fabian Schär and Joe Linton, but I think that they were right substitutions. I don't think he had much of a choice. But what I did like was Emil Kraft came on obviously for Fabian Schär, and he didn't say to Emil Kraft, you just go centre back. He changed it all around. And we've been critical of Eddie in the past for not changing around mid-game, but he did. He put Emil Kraft right back and moved Dan Byrne into centre-back and Livramento to left-back. And it was a lot better because I thought initially when Emil Kraft came on, he was going to go into Scher's position, which was left centre-back when he's right-footed. So I was a little worried about that, but then obviously play continued and we saw that he'd made the change in defence, and I was really happy that he'd actually done that rather than just swap like for like. Miley came on, did a brilliant job. All the subs came on and did a fab job. Matt Ritchie was at it when he came on. It just, like Alex said during the match day live, it's very annoying that he's getting over the hill now because he's still got a wonderful left foot and still got something to offer. We could have had a few more goals and assists from Matt Ritchie, but it wasn't to be. But we can't be too greedy today, guys. It was a great second half performance. We did a very professional job today. And now it's looking forward. Disappointment of the Champions League is gone now. We look forward to a quarter-final of the Carabao. Get through that. Get these games done before Christmas, which are definitely winnable for us. And then the new year transfer window, it opens up the second half of the season brilliantly for us. So we've got a lot to be excited about as Newcastle fans moving forward into the next few games and into January, of course. But let me know what you thought of the game in the comments. Did you enjoy it? Were you worried at half-time that we were struggling to break them down, or did you think it was always coming? Because quite frankly, as soon as the second half kicked off, you knew that first goal was coming. It was just a question of when. And the fact that we went on and managed the game very well by getting the extra goals and putting the game to bed, which we haven't done in previous games. So a lot to be happy about there today, guys. But let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. We've had a brilliant subscription this afternoon during Match Day Live. So please do join this wonderful channel if you haven't already done so. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, which will let you know when we schedule our live shows or we upload any recordings, such as this one. But don't forget to stick a like on it, guys. Please do hit the thumbs up button. Very important to the channel for YouTube algorithm, etc., that we're up there in the search results so that fans like yourselves can find the channel and hopefully subscribe in the future. But enjoy the rest of your Saturday, guys, and we'll see you for the match review tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. In the meantime, take care.